Have you ever wondered how you could make an election both perfectly anonymous and completely verifiable? It sounds kind of impossible, right? Well, today we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating system that tries to do just that, the G2. We're going to follow the entire journey of a single vote, step by step, to see exactly how it works. So let's jump right in.
So everything, and I mean everything, happens inside this, the G2 voting container. Now you should think of this less like a flimsy booth and more like a secure, self-contained bubble. The moment you step through that door, the entire process is completely isolated from any outside influence. The journey starts right there.
Okay, so let's imagine we're inside the G2 container now. The whole idea here is pretty simple. Create a bubble of integrity. Everything from verifying who you are to actually casting your vote happens right here, totally cut off from the outside world.
And the security here is seriously layered. First off, it's one person in, one person out, and you get in using biometrics, so no one else is getting in with you. And while, yeah, there's CCTV monitoring the entrance and exit, the privacy desk itself, where you actually vote, is a total camera-free zone. It's a really smart balance between security and privacy, working together.
All right, so you're in. Your journey really kicks off the moment you prove your identity. That single action sets off a unique chain of events, and it all starts with the ballot itself.
Now, this diagram shows the entire workflow. I know it might look a little complicated at first glance, but don't worry. Think of it as our map for the next few minutes. We're just going to follow this path, step by step, to see how your vote gets created, cast, and, most importantly, secured.
It all starts at the biometric machine. Once you've confirmed who you are, the system doesn't just hand you some pre-printed ballot from a stack. No, it prints a brand new, totally unique one, right there on the spot. This piece of paper is made just for you, and it exists for one reason: to record your vote.
And that ballot, it's not just one single piece of paper. It actually has 3 distinct, separate parts. You really want to remember this number 3, because it is the absolute key to how this whole system pulls off being both anonymous and verifiable.
So let's break down what these 3 parts are. First, you've got the candidate list. That's pretty straightforward. It's where you make your choice. Then there's a unique QR code, which is kind of like a digital fingerprint for this specific ballot. And finally, there's a little slip with a random serial number on it. Each of these pieces has a very different and very important job to do.
Because this right here is where the magic happens. By physically tearing these 3 pieces apart, the system does something incredible. It separates your identity from your vote while still creating an unbreakable audit trail. It's pretty cool.
Okay, so you head to that camera-free privacy desk and you mark your choice. Then you physically tear the ballot into its 3 pieces. The candidate list, your actual vote, gets scanned and drops into box 1. Now this next part is awesome. You use a manual lever to physically shuffle the collection drum, which breaks any link between the order of votes cast. That action is recorded on what's called the vote video. Next up, the QR code gets scanned and dropped into a completely separate box. And just like that, your identity has been detached from your choice.
And what about that third piece, the one with the serial number? Well, that one's for you. You actually take it with you when you leave. And this isn't just some flimsy receipt. It's your personal key, your proof that you were there, and the tool you'll use to check up on the system later.
So your vote's been cast, and it's anonymous. Great. But how do we know the whole system is trustworthy? Well, this is where we get to the real backbone of the G2 security. It's super comprehensive and decentralized audit trail.
Get this, that one single act of you voting, it creates 4 separate records. Not 1, but 4. Each one captures a different piece of the process, and this is the critical part, they are all stored by different independent groups.
So here's how that whole decentralized thing works. The verification office, they get the CCTV footage of you coming in. The complaints office gets the footage of your serial number. The recount office holds the record of the QR code. And finally, the polling office gets the live vote video. That's the one showing the anonymous ballot being cast. See? No one group has all the pieces.
Which, brings up a really important question. If you split all the data up like this, how does that actually make things more secure? Wouldn't it be easier to just keep it all together? How does this stop someone from cheating?
The answer is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. No single person or agency can see the whole picture. The data is kept in separate silos on purpose. The only way to connect your identity from that CCTV footage to your anonymous vote is through an official investigation, and that can only be kicked off if a voter, using their serial number, files a complaint. So let's wrap this up by focusing on what's maybe the most important part of all of this. This system isn't just about security for its own sake, it's about shifting the power and transparency directly over to you, the voter.
And this system delivers results with both incredible speed and total privacy. That anonymous vote video we talked about, it's live streamed to the polling agency, which means they can publish a running total every single hour. And because those totals are all lumped together from all the different centers, nobody can trace a vote back to a specific place or time.
But while the public results are anonymous, your personal audit is very specific. Before you even leave the container, you confirm your vote on a display, you scan your serial number, and then you use your biometrics one last time to exit. With that little serial slip you took home, you can go online later and confirm that, yep, the system correctly logged you entering, creating a ballot, and leaving. You get to see the machine's own record of your participation.
And really, that's the fundamental change here. Instead of just asking you to blindly trust the system, it actually gives every single voter the tools to check it for themselves. The power to audit is literally placed in the hands of every person who votes.
Which leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Just imagine an election where every single person could go home and with their own unique private key confirm that their vote was recorded correctly and counted accurately. What do you think that level of personal, verifiable transparency would do for our trust in the entire democratic process?